I never thought the night of my 25th birthday would be the last time I felt safe inside my own home. The place I once called a sanctuary turned into a battlefield where I was both the enemy and the victim. It all started like any other celebration: balloons, laughter, the smell of my favorite vanilla cake wafting through the rooms. My family surrounded me, smiling faces masking the cracks I hadn't noticed yet. My father, stoic as ever, nodded curtly when I thanked him for the gift. My mother's eyes flickered briefly, like she was trying to hide something behind forced cheer. After the cake was cut and the guests had left, I decided to check on my dad in his study, a habit from childhood, when he used to share stories with me late into the night. But this time, the door was slightly ajar, and I heard hushed voices. I froze. His voice, calm but chilling, sent a cold wave through my chest. "We can't let Eva ruin everything," he said. "If she stays, the legacy is lost." I pressed my ear closer. My mother's voice trembled. "But she's your daughter." "She's a liability," he snapped. "She needs to be removed." Liam agrees. Liam, my own brother. The one I grew up protecting from bullies, the one I thought I could trust more than anyone. I stumbled backward, my heart pounding so loudly I was sure they would hear it. I didn't want to believe it. Could my family really be plotting against me? The next morning, I confronted them. The house that once echoed with warmth was now filled with cold, sharp words. They told me I was a threat to their reputation, that my recent mistakes, my outspoken nature, everything they pretended to overlook, was finally too much. I was to be disinherited, erased from the family history. I packed my bags with shaking hands, unable to look at their faces one last time. Standing on the doorstep, I felt the world I had known collapse. But underneath the despair, something fierce awakened inside me, a determination to survive, to fight back. Because betrayal cuts deep. But it also carves a path to truth. That night, I wondered, what was so dangerous about me that my own blood wished me gone? What secrets had my family buried so deeply they feared I might unearth them? And most terrifyingly, if Liam was involved, was he a willing traitor? Or was there something else driving him? I didn't know it then, but the answers I sought would lead me into darkness I never imagined, and into a war I could not avoid. Leaving my family's house that night felt like stepping into a void. But I couldn't run from the questions swirling in my mind. Why had they turned on me? What secret was I supposed to be too dangerous to know? The next day, I found myself back at the old estate, not the grand halls where my family entertained guests, but the attic. A dusty, forgotten space filled with relics of the past. That's when I found it, a weathered wooden box tucked beneath a pile of old blankets. Inside were letters, photographs, and a journal that belonged to my grandmother. A woman I barely knew but had always heard whispered about with both reverence and fear. As I flipped through the fragile pages, the story she told was nothing like the one I was raised on. Grandma's words painted a picture of betrayal that stretched back decades. She had been cast out, accused of crimes she swore she never committed. Her journal spoke of a family secret, a scandal involving stolen inheritance, lies, and a silent war fought in the shadows. But what caught my attention most was a strange symbol drawn repeatedly in the margins, a twisting serpent encircling a key. Later, I realized the same symbol was tattooed on Liam's wrist. Why? What connection did my brother have to this dark legacy? Was he merely an agent of our family's cruelty, or was he trapped in a web far more tangled than I had imagined? I knew I had to confront him, to break through the cold walls he'd built. But even as I made plans, a feeling of being watched crept over me. Someone didn't want me digging up the past. And maybe, just maybe, that someone was closer than I feared. Every answer I found only deepened the mystery, and pulled me further into a darkness where trust was a deadly gamble. I found Liam sitting alone in the cafe we used to visit as kids. The casual place felt strange between us now, like a stage for a confrontation we both feared. He didn't look surprised to see me, but his eyes, cold, guarded, like he was weighing every word before deciding whether to share or shut me out. I wasted no time. "Why are you doing this, Liam? Why did you side with them?" He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "You don't understand, Eva. This isn't as simple as you think. I never wanted to betray you. His voice cracked slightly, but the walls stayed up. He told me about the family's real plan, how our father was ready to sell the estate, the legacy, everything to a ruthless group of investors who cared nothing for what we stood for. You being out of the picture made the deal easier, Liam confessed. They needed a scapegoat, and I was pushed to make sure you stayed away. I wanted to scream. How could he be part of this? Yet, behind his words, I sensed he was as much a prisoner as I was. Then, he dropped a bombshell. There's someone else. Someone pulling strings from the shadows. Someone worse than our father. Someone who wants that secret your grandmother tried to protect. I felt a chill run down my spine. What secret? I demanded. Liam looked away, hesitant. It's not just money or land, Eva. It's a truth so dangerous that if it came out, it would destroy everything. And just like that, the brother I thought I knew became a mystery wrapped in a mask. I realized then, I wasn't just fighting my family, I was fighting an unseen enemy. Every step I took toward the truth uncovered new threats, and the line between friend and foe blurred. I never imagined that digging into my family's past would lead me beneath the very estate I once called home. With Liam reluctantly by my side, I found a hidden door in the basement, one no one had mentioned before. It creaked open to reveal a narrow staircase spiraling down into darkness. Every step echoed like a heartbeat, faster and louder as anticipation and fear battled inside me. At the bottom, an underground chamber stretched wide and cold. Dust hung in the stale air, but what it held was alive, secrets waiting patiently for someone brave enough to uncover them. Old ledgers, yellowed papers, and encrypted letters lay scattered across a stone table. As I sifted through the documents, the shocking truth unfolded. My family's fortune was built on lies and crimes. Illegal deals, betrayals, even violence. The foundation of everything I thought I knew was rotten. The ledger listed names of powerful people, some family friends, who had been involved in silencing those who threatened to reveal the truth. And buried in the files was proof my father had orchestrated my grandmother's disgrace, condemning her to be the family's scapegoat. My blood ran cold. Suddenly, a shadow shifted behind me. A figure emerged, cloaked in mystery and calm, someone who had been watching me since I returned. They handed me an old key and whispered, "This is your chance for justice, but be careful. Revenge demands a price." I looked up, but the stranger was already gone. Standing there, holding the key to my family's darkest secrets, I realized this was only the beginning. The deeper I went, the more I understood that the darkness I was walking into wasn't just about my family, it was about who I was becoming. O enotri tutmak, Tasidijim tum Euclidin dahara gurdi. Sedis metolden yapilmis de gildi, ailman yalanler userin kurdugu her sei yikmagukun bursim jizidi. Bunu, mulkan altandoki unutolmus bur bonka kosasinda sakli bur eminet kosasini akmak isin kulandim. Isind belgula, kayitler vi photografler vardi. Ailman onlaka yilder isledija yolsasluk, ionet vi suklerin inker idalames kanetlari. Liamin yadamiala kanetlari medyaya oktadim. Haikai ber gisid patlak verdi v ailman koramak isin sok kalistijai, ozanal olustrolmus emoji yurl ber eti. Ber zamonla bana gulimseinler burdenbuyer dusmanler imoldu, hertaraften taditler yukasmea beslodi v kendami beni sustermak isin kan atten insanlerin hedify olarak buldum. Oma ben hazardim. Bizda derendik, her komplokuyu ifsa etik, yalana ajanai parka kozduk. Sonra en sok korktugum en geldi, babamla yazelsmek. Hayatami sagukan lilikla movadan adam. Goslerind hikber pismanlik yoktu. Bunnen ber sei digistrasegini miseniosan. Dialasai ber si kildasordu. Biz olmadan sun ber hiksin. Oma ben degismistum. Artike lisi terrafindan ionit agromis korkmus ber kisdegildum, berguktum. Ben gomai kalistagin hersium, dedim, sesim karalidi. Ist o and jekmizamin zinsularinden kurtuldum. Oma taz dumen yatistaginda v edalet artik yakin jibi garundagund, isimd ber erpatai hisetim, savasin bitmadigini hatterlaten ber sadibu. Goljaladan byri holla on lari islia, carcilic verm fersatini bekliordu. Ionit ugradim. Jersajai or taya sakardim. V simdi, bundan sonra eni jalus gelsin hazarim. Omasorisu, Solo ve yalanlo userin kurulu berdunyada, kaimjersekten governablersonise?